Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get into the casing of your HP Omen laptop computer. I'm going in here to replace a fan. You may want to go in here to upgrade your RAM, replace the battery, replace the hard drive or something like that. But for some reason, these fans break in these laptops and you have to replace them if you want that to quiet down and quit vibrating. Let's get started. You need a small cross-tip screwdriver, utility size. Sometimes you'll find them in glasses case, in either a pocket knife or a butter knife. You want to power the computer all the way down. You actually have to open the bottom of this computer even to get at the battery. The battery has some kind of insulated padded thing on there, so a lot of people think the battery's bloated or defective, but that's not the case. So let's get started. Shut the computer power all the way down, close the case, flip it over, and remove several screws. You got a screw here, 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 and a screw here. Once you get those screws out, you'll be able to pry this bottom off. They have a tool called a bone tool, but you really need something kind of sharp to get that to pry off. Let me go ahead and pop these screws out and show you how to pry it off. One concern when putting these little screws in is that you'll drop a screw somewhere. Find a magnet anywhere. This is a flashlight I got. It's got a magnet on the bottom of it. You could take the tip of the screwdriver, set it on that magnet for 30 seconds or so, or you can rub it across the magnet a few times. Then you should be able to pick these screws up and they be magnetized to the screwdriver, and that way it's harder to drop them. So I'm going to take this screw, I'm going to put it on the tip of the screwdriver that is now magnetized a little bit, and put it in the hole so that I don't drop it. Let me use two hands, it's much easier. Now that screw is magnetized. Those are the 8 screws that came out of it in the order that they are here. So the 2 longer screws came out here and here. Next, got to pry something in the seam of this and pry this open. Let me try to get it started and then show you what I did. I took a butter knife, slid it in this crack along here, and pried it this way, and it popped the tab loose in there. So you do that around, and then you'll see that it also comes up here. A pen knife will probably be better. I'm gonna need 2 hands to get this the rest of the way open, and we'll have that off. I got this edge of it open. I work my way around, popping it loose, and you take the bottom up and off. Model number of this computer is right there. Now they have another version of this computer that has a smaller fan. You want to be careful you don't get the wrong one. And there's the fan there with the broken blades. Not sure how that happens. It is a common problem with this computer. Next, you want to peel this paper off here. You got to get that out of the way to get the fan out. Peel that off, lay it to the side, however you want to do it. That wouldn't matter to me. Next, you want to take a screw out here, a screw out here, a screw out here, and a screw out here. Take those 4 screws out, and you got to pop this corner piece off because it is in the way of getting this fan out of here. Next, this corner piece comes off. You got to get it up and over that little tab there, and pop it up and off this way. Kind of difficult for me to do it the first time, very strange thing. So you're going to have to get a penknife up under there to pry that up over that, like I pulled it up with my fingernail, and get this piece to pop up and off of here. Let me try that and tell you how I got it off. Pried it up over those two things, and as you can see, it broke there and broke there. Now the corner of it's coming up and off, but I need to get this side to come up and off of there too. And that whole corner piece. So let me pry something in there and see if I could get it to pop up and away from the computer. Pried the butter knife in there, and it's trying to come up and off of there. I need to get it to release off of this side somehow. Let me work on getting it off of this corner over here. I grabbed it with my fingertips and pulled it, and looks like the corner of it broke off. Not sure why that happened. Maybe just the way I grabbed it, but now that comes up and off of there, and the corner of it's broken. That secured it down there, so put that over there with the screw. Now hopefully that won't be loose, but it looks like it's got tabs on the top side of it. If you're just in here to replace the battery, now you have a screw there, a screw there, a screw there, a screw there, and that battery looks like it'll lift up and out of there. Like I said, it's got some kind of padding insulation on it, maybe to keep it cool, I don't know. Here's your RAM chips. You got a RAM chip here, RAM chip here. I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it has a plug there, screw there, and it plugs in there. I don't know what it is. Like I said, I'm in here after the fan. Next thing I'm going to do is pull this piece of tape off of here that's covering something. Set that aside. And now, trying to figure out how to get to this fan. I don't quite remember how I got it out last time. Let me take out this screw here and pull this ribbon up to see if there's some other screw somewhere I need to get out of here. Not sure if this is in the way of getting this fan out. This is the fan. That's the part number of it there. That's the part number. So it's got a screw here, a screw here, and a screw here. Looks like it's orientated this way. And it's got the little plug here that's right here. So let's see if we can find a way to get at this screw here. Probably under this ribbon here. Yep. I got that screw. It's missing. I pulled that out last time I was in here. I pulled that screw out last time I was in here and forgot to put them back. So I got this ribbon out of the way. I'm going to pull this screw here. The other two are already pulled, and that fan hopefully will come up out of there. This heat sink that's over top of this fan, it has this screw here holds it in. This screw on the end holds it in, and it looks like this screw here holds it down. So I'm going to pull that screw out, and this heatsink casing should come up off of this fan. That casing did come up off of that. It's trapped in this ribbon, but I don't think you have to undo that ribbon. You just have to get that out of the way. Now you take the screws out for the fan. You get another one there, which are already out. You got to undo this tape here that's holding the fan down. The replacement has it on there as well. Already has a tape on there. Lift the fan up and out of there, and then unplug it. The plug is right here. Just pull it up, and it unplugs. And you have the fan out. Broken blades and all. You might want to clean all that dust out of there so that your airflow could be good on the new fan. Wow, this really stinks because I had those two fan screws, and I told myself, I'm going to put these screws right here so I don't lose them and put them in when I take this back apart. Now I can't find them. What a tragedy. They were on this table somewhere. Well, I cannot find where I put those screws. So I'm going to take one screw out of this fan and use it to hold that fan down and get this show on the road. I'm not a big fan of compressed air, but you use an old toothbrush, brush that out best you can, blow it out through the other side, and get ready to put this thing back together. I ran the cable under this ribbon, plugged the fan in. I put a screw in there, a screw in there. I flipped this heat shield casing back over. I put a screw in there. I'm missing the fan screw there. I took a fan screw out over here to put over there. So I got 2 screws holding this fan in, 2 screws holding this fan in. Now I'm going to tuck this ribbon back down in here the way it was so that this casing will go in. This is your hard drive here in case you want to ever replace that. Let me get this cable tucked in there. Now I take this tape, put it back here. Next I put this tape paper back here. Now I'm going to snap this piece back in over here and screw the 4 screws in that was holding it down. Should just snap over there, over this bar here. And it's got tabs down on this other side of it that's got to lock in place. Whenever you're putting all these screws back in, this is not a, I don't know, massive piece of equipment, and these screws are tiny. Just screw the screws in until they're snug. Don't over tighten them and strip them out and do all that kind of stuff. Just turn it in gently with your fingers until it quits moving and snug them in. I got that piece on. Now I just got to snap the bottom back on and I'm good to go. Now the bottom has clips and snaps in it that'll snap around the edges of the computer. Just put it in place and snap it around. It'll snap in place. Then put your 8 screws in and you're all done. Here with this white 850, it had a fuel leak. Fuel filter was probably leaking. Tried to pull the line off. The end of the line broke off. So I had to put a vice grip on it and get a tool to get that line off of there. And now we do not appear to have a leak. We did it. Now time to replace the turbo. All right, John's car is lowered, so we had to put this 2x8 on there to get it up on the ramps. We're going to replace the turbo. When he starts this thing up, it ain't long before smoke is billowing out of here. And it looks like it's coughing oil out the back of the tailpipe. So we're going to pull this turbo and get that thing replaced. The pin in that wastegate actuator broke, which is very common now. Now there's a piece of pin broke in a hole that's probably never going to come out of there. I got everything else from the turbo loose except this coolant. I guess it's the return line bolt. I'm going to turn the turbo a little bit to get that out easier and lift this turbo out of here. I suspect that this front blade on this turbo is bad. The seal in there, see how much play you got in there? That thing is rocking around in there pretty bad. Not too much in and out play, but a lot of up and down play. It's actually trying to bind up a little bit in there. If I pull it out, I can spin it. I push it in, I really can't. Shouldn't have much play in it, and it sounds nasty. You can hear it. Anyway, I'm going to replace this turbo real quick. Got oil even coming out of the supply line. So this is a 16T off of a 2000. See, it says 16T right there. Off of a 2001 S60. Had an angle flange on it. We have a straight flange. So I'm pulling everything off of it. I'm going to leave a wastegate actuator on there. And it seems to be in good shape. You see the back of it is nice and brown. It should be brown and not black, like this one's black. So all the ports are the same because it's an 01. Don't have any issues with that. The coolant supplies here. The coolant return is up top there. The oil supply is up top there. So we should be good to go. This thing is still leaking stuff out of it, oil. And get this replacement installed. At this age, unless you know this turbo's got less than 150,000, I'd recommend you either putting a new CHRA on there or a rebuilt one from a reputable rebuilder. This should be a 15G here. Lots of gunk on it. Are we gonna find the markings? Heck, it seems like everything's come off of this thing, or it's been replaced at one time. Yeah, I don't see no Volvo signs or symbols on it or none of that. Maybe this has been replaced at one time. Turbo on, getting ready to pour coolant in here. Then we're gonna fire this thing up after we prime the oil system, make sure it has oil going into the turbo. So we're gonna disconnect the fuel pump. While I was taking coolant out of this container, pouring it into the coolant reservoir, I seen something go in the coolant reservoir, so I stopped. It's plastic. Those brilliant people ran plastic down in there, drilling those holes, and didn't clean it out. So if you want to use that, you got to rinse it out before you try to reuse your coolant or strain it, because they'll have plastic floating through your coolant system. Not good. I did prime the oil system, so that is done. We got to go ahead and start the car now. I hooked the fuel and ignition back up. So let's go in here and fire this thing up. Probably still smoke for 500 miles since you've been pumping oil down in the cat. It's already not smoking like it was. That's a good thing. We'll let this idle for a minute and finish buttoning it up. And I don't see nothing leaking under the car, so we're good there. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.